Good morning, everybody. We are continuing our study of the book of Matthew. We are in chapter 5 and we're beginning at verse 21. This part of the Sermon on the Mount is called by the scholars the six antitheses. Jesus takes a look at 6 separate laws or commands and then has more to say about them. All of them start off with the same basic intro. Jesus says, "You have heard that our ancestors were told," or "You have heard the commandment that," or "You have heard the law that says," and then it goes on. He deals with anger, adultery, divorce, vows, vengeance, and ultimately loving our enemies. Now, as you read these passages today, Jesus takes each one of those commandments and then turns the volume up on it. For example, if we take a look at anger, he says it's not enough not to murder somebody. The fact that you might be thinking about it is a sin in and of itself. In terms of adultery, he says it's not just a matter of not committing the sin of adultery. If you look lustfully upon another, then you are committing the sin in your heart. As we move through, though, we start realizing that his teachings have more to do with our spiritual condition and maybe his relationship with us than what first meets the eyes. Now, each and every one of these teachings we do need to take literally, and they are hard. They are not easy for us to realize that Jesus is challenging us to change our very conscience and souls. But that is the way that God calls us to live. But we realize in each and every one of these, there's also a promise. God is promising not to murder us, and in fact, to do good for us. God is promising that he will always look and stay faithful to us. God is promising that he will never break his vow, his commitment of marriage to us as his children. God is promising not to seek revenge on us, though in fact we are worthy of it. And in the end, he says, even though we may be God's enemy at times, he is going to love us no matter what. I want to take a look at that 6th antithesis right now. It starts at verse 43. It says, "You have heard the law says, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you." That is God's promise to us. As he invites us to love others no matter who they are, he is also promising to love us when we least deserve it. And as we live into this life, this calling that he has put onto us, we get to the last verse of the chapter where he says this, "But you are to be perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." That is the quest that we are on. None of us expect to achieve perfection. Those who get close are called saints. But we are all called to live into this life that God has called us to live our lives in a different way. It won't be easy, but we thank God that he lives that way, and he lives that way for our benefit. So go out, love the world, live to that higher standard of God's calling. Know that you're not going to get it perfect, but it's all right. It's about the journey that we share with one another. And above all, hold love close to your hearts, because that's the key. Have a great day, everyone.
If these devotional videos are helpful to you, subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so you know when we post a new video. And of course, please share them with others.